Mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2. All right. Mic check. 1 2. Mic check. Put a one in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put a one in the chat if you hear the sound of my voice. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I'm sorry for this late live, but I've been busy. When I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been busy. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on at Patrick J. Monahan building, the federal courthouse. And first and foremost, good evening, everybody. Good evening for all those that are tuning in this late evening. First and foremost, we're going to do a slight roll call here. I see you, D. I see you, Galatians. I see you, Miss Sue. First and foremost, you guys have been asking me, Mr. Barr, you have been going live a lot. Well, that will change starting tomorrow. That will change starting tomorrow. For those who don't know, I have a media pool that is active for members of the press as well as content creators. So there's been a lot of different moving parts as it relates to making sure everyone has what they need. And when I say we have, say, like one of the big dogs in the pool, it's important for me to be able to get the content, the exterior content. For example, I've been shooting all of the arrivals in the morning as well as at the close of the day. Those are in the courtroom don't have that opportunity. They will likely have to come out during the testimony in order for them to get. Well, they really won't have an opportunity to get anything because the witnesses will likely be inside as well as the lawyers and so forth. I'm on both platforms, so someone said, "Hey, am I on both?" I'm on both. I went live. I want to say yesterday. I went live yesterday, and we did. You know, I have so much footage. Like when I tell you, I have a lot of footage from what's been happening since the trial started. Let's just talk about what happened today. Today, we had several witnesses to testify. We had the mother of Cassie Ventura, who I shot this morning coming in. We had the special agent in charge of the raid of Diddy's home, and that special agent Gannon. Gannon testified today as well. And then we had an exotic dancer, a well-known exotic dancer. If you're in that space, I don't know the guy, but they call him the Punisher. He's the Punisher, and he was hired by Cassie, I guess, to show skills. I mean, they don't call him the Punisher for no reason. And his testimony was pretty colorful today, ladies and gentlemen. But also the testimony of Miss Regina Ventura. I don't know if you guys had been, there are a lot of content creators that are at the courthouse. And when I tell you, this is the first trial where many local YouTubers and TikTok have came out to quote unquote cover it. I kind of was just watching, and I'll tell you who is definitely boots on the ground. And I don't make, I don't hate on anyone because, you got to catch up to hate. But I want to shout out to all those who came out. Shout out to Armand Wiggins. Shout out to, I'm going to shout out everybody who showed up. It takes a lot to show up to a trial like this. It takes a lot of resources. It takes, tenacity to be able to come out every morning, early in the morning, to get a spot on the line and then to go in and sit and listen to all the testimony. I get the dailies, the transcripts, because obviously it's part of the pool. So I know there's a lot for the average Joe Blow to sit in the courtroom and listen to. Some of it may seem boring, some of it may seem repetitive, but it ultimately is important for it to be done because someone's life is on the line here. And I'm talking from the perspective of the defendant has the right to a fair trial. He's just presumed innocent. If if and when a jury finds him guilty, then that changes. But he has a presumption of innocence. And we're going to talk about the testimony, how the testimony does the testimony align with what the indictment says? Has the government proved, but beyond the shadow of doubt, a RICO case? We won't know the answer to that until all the witnesses have testified and been cross-examined, and then Mr. Combs has the right to recall witness, call his own witnesses, and put a counter to what the prosecution is said about him. There's been a lot said about him, and people have to understand that this is just the start. The government said they have 6 to 8 weeks. The defense may have another 6 to 8 weeks. Think about that. The government said they have about 6 to 8 weeks. The judge said it probably lasts 6 to 8 weeks. It may last longer. It all depends on what is said. What I thought was interesting today is that after Ms. Ventura completed her direct examination, the defense didn't have any questions for her. They had no questions. And I understood why that was the case. What she said pretty much, and I'm not speaking for the defense, but I think what she said essentially was what others had said, and they just didn't want to, open another can of worms with her testimony staying on there a while. And she wasn't on there. I don't think she was on there 15 minutes. Literally 15 minutes. So she came in and literally was on 15 minutes, and she was back downstairs. And I think that if the defense wanted to explore certain things, like she said, Puff asked her for to recoup the $20,000 that he invested in Cassie, and she had, the way she told it, he insisted on her sending $20,000 to him. But when she got the $20,000 and sent it to him, he sent it back. He didn't want the money. He didn't want a penny of it. So to say that, what was the relevance of even asking the witness about that if he didn't take any money? So think about that for a second. The prosecution allowed the testimony to talk about the witness testifying to talk about the $20,000 that she said she sent to him because he demanded it, but he never took it. It seemed like he was probably just messing with her. That's what it seems like to me. He was just messing with her, pulling her leg. Oh yeah, give me my money back. And listen, I put $20,000. I'm paraphrasing. I put $20,000 in your daughter, and she's doing this. I want my money back. Just send my money back. And she testified that the bookkeeper sent her the wire transfer information. And she said that once she sent it, when she went to look at her account again, the money was placed back in her account. So why was that even necessary? Why? Was it to show he was being manipulative? What do you think? What do you think that was done for? What do you think that was done for? And the other thing she testified to was it was a situation involving Cassie, something about she was just he might have hit her or something like that. I don't think anyone believes that Puffy didn't put hands on Cassie. I don't think anyone believes that that elevated situation was the first time Puffy touched Cassie. I don't believe that, and I don't think anyone else believed that. And I don't think he's going to say he did touch her, but I think his defense is that he was under the influence. You remember Don Richard testified yesterday that when he hit her one time, he wasn't high. And I asked the question, how do you know? How do you know he wasn't hot? Because both Cassie and Puffy was functional addicts. They both were functional addicts. And Dawn didn't. She's testified that she didn't do heavy drugs. I think she just smoked weed. But how does she really know what condition Puffy was in? And shout out to Attorney Westmoreland, Nicole Westmoreland, because she did an extraordinary job in cross-examining Cassie. I don't know if anyone's read the transcript on that yet. I don't know if any members of the pool have read the transcript on that, but I do have the transcript for that, and we can go over that transcript at some point in time, or just her part, her direct and her cross. But I don't think that it helped her much for a civil case for what she said, because she was contradicting herself. She was saying things that she didn't say before, things she should have told the prosecution. She never told the prosecution, but she's saying it on the stand while she's in front of these jurors. Did she have a total recall, or maybe is it possible she was embellishing what actually happened? We don't know. We don't know. We really don't know. But then the agent, the special agent Gannon, testified that he had went to Puff's house on Star Island and waited to Puff headed to the airport to take his family on vacation, and they had about 90 FBI agents that converged on his Star Island home. Very nice home, by the way. Very nice home. I will just tell you that. And ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. It's a nice home. But they used a armored truck to break down the gate. I mean, that's like, you really did that. You really used the armored truck to break down the gate. I'm sure he probably had employees there, but I guess they wanted to have a shock and awe effect. But he was out of town. He was headed to the airport. He wasn't out of town yet. He was headed to the airport, and there's a photo out there where you can see where he's he and his family was waiting for a flight. And where I guess the quote unquote drug mule was arrested at the airport as well. But hey, someone said, did I go to the events? Listen, I went to several of Puff's parties. Like, yes, I'm in the industry. I've been to several of his parties. I photographed Puff and Cassie multiple times. Yes, I went to the party. What are you gonna say? He went to the party. Oh no, he went to the party. No, I went to the party. I went to the party. I didn't do a Diddy bop. I did my own bop. It was a regular party. Come on, guys. You went to the party. Because you guys never got invited to, you probably never got invited to a lot of parties, but yeah, I went to the party. I didn't go to the after party, but I went to the party. Guys, I went to the party. I would be lying. How could I take the picture if I didn't go to the party? So stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Yeah, I went to the party. As a matter of fact, I can't tell you guys too much, but they're actually doing a special. Big network is doing a special. I could say this. They're actually doing a special with me. I can't say too much, but I'll just say it's a very big network that they're going to be doing a special with me. So it's cool. The ink hasn't dried yet, but we're going to do it. Someone said you went to Barry. Why are you doing that, Barry? Barry, I know that's not even your name. I know your name's named Barry White. I know it's not that's not your name. You don't have to use the fake name, Barry. But ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching, I'm talking to Barry in the comment section. I don't know if Barry's on Twitter. Barry's on Twitter. Barry's on Twitter. Make sure you're over here on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube as well, because I know sometimes you got Twitter fingers. You don't think I'll come out and block you now. I'm just looking at the first and foremost. How's my sound? I didn't physically get everything I wanted to get set up because again, I'm not home. I'm not where home is at, but I'm not home, so I had to kind of do a makeshift setup. Hopefully by the weekend we can have everything set up nice. Okay. D, thank you, D. D, make sure you happy. I think you told me it was your birthday. Somebody told me it was their birthday. One of my mods told me it was their birthday. But whoever that mod was, happy birthday. No, I know it's MMPD. It was her birthday. Now I remember. Okay. Okay, so as I was saying, there was a lot of people outside today talking about the developments in the case, and I think I shouted out everyone. I shout Tisa Tells, Amon Wiggins, Neek at Night. I know this other person. I don't think I want to shout them out. And it's not the infamous. It's someone else. But the infamous was there today. And we shot a lot of stuff. We got a lot of cool. We got some great shots, guys. We got some. I got the great shots. I got the great video. But we're not dropping that tonight. This is not the time for that. Send that back home now. Okay. But tomorrow is going to be interesting because we learned today that Miss Cuddy or Kid Cuddy will be testifying either Thursday or Friday. So Kid Cuddy, there's no call on Friday, tomorrow or Thursday. But if that happens, that may be a game changer, because if they can substantiate Puff's involvement in this alleged arson, it was an arson of his Kid Cudi's car, that would align with what Cassie said. And that could be a problem for Puff, depending upon how he comes across. It could be a major problem for Puff. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If there's more than just, he could testify, hey, I came out, my car was blown up or it was set on fire, and then they're gonna have to align the time. Puff could have told her years later, but that could be a problem for him. It could be a major problem for him, and that may change the course of the case, because the agent also testified that he found AR-15s in the home. The serial numbers were filed off. Why would you file off the serial numbers off of firearms? Because usually when people do that, they don't want the firearm to be traced. That's another problem. I don't know how they can get past that. That in itself is a federal crime, so I don't know about that one. He has a right to have firearms, but why does he have, again, did he buy them with them filed off, or were they filed off after he purchased them? So I don't know how the defense is going to get around that. If they concede to that, that's a problem. That's a problem. I think that most people of his stature own firearms. Most people of your stature own firearms. So having firearms is not an issue. The issue would be that if they were used or he had them for nefarious reasons, that could be a problem. Because there was one test, and you guys remember the testimony, and I don't remember who was testifying to this. I think it was one of the assistants. If he actually pulled those weapons out to intimidate someone, then that might be a problem. Again, it's kind of tricky, because what I know about Puff and what others know about Puff, he's not a street dude. He's not a street dude at all. He's not a street dude. And I actually interviewed someone, ladies and gentlemen, that knows Puff very well. Very well. We have not dropped that interview. We'll likely drop it soon. But this person knows Puff very well from back in the 90s, 2000s. But yeah, it's tricky. Okay, so he had 3 on his lap. Well, yeah. I mean, listen. Would you be surprised to learn that many people own guns? Maybe not in your state, but there are many people, especially in the South, that own firearms, that have a cadre of weapons, guns, machine guns, amplified weapons, I'm on the range. I see all kind of guns on the range. Like, wow, you brought that to the range? You should probably be shooting that outside. So yeah, don't. It's what he did with the guns. Um, oh, here's something else I said early on this week. If Puff shared his intimate, shared intimate details with Cassie about different things, don't you think he would have told her if he had any involvement in either Tupac or Biggie's death? Don't you think that would have came out as well? Do you think that would have possibly been something pillow talk? Oh, hey, I don't, Cassie never testified to anything like that. I'm sure that federal agents explored those possible scenarios. I'm sure they questioned her, and she probably had nothing to offer. I mean, this is a person that these freak offs. I mean, the way he was getting down with these freak offs. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Right. He gave the money back, Latoya Dickerson. He gave the money right, but he didn't need it. But a lot of people want his money. There's a lot of people that is eating off of Puff. There is a lot of people that is covering this case is eating off of Puff. So, and I say eating off of Puff, making a lot of money with covering the story, but that's the business of what we do. But I don't think that Puff was serious about that $20,000. I think that he was just messing with Cassie on that, messing with her head. I need to, and it's not federal. That's not even a crime. What she described wasn't even a crime. It was a business transaction that didn't even go down. So she was really not. She really said nothing. Let's be honest. Cassie's mother really said nothing. But let's see what Kid Cudi says. He's been the one, because Cassie's a star witness. Kid Cudi would be another one. Who else could you imagine there would be a star witness in this case? A star witness, not someone that has gripes with Puffy because their business didn't last or they got into a contract that wasn't favorable to them. Shout out to Pam. Shout out to Pam. Pam said Diddy sounded like a brat having right, exactly. Call Pam. He sure did. He sounded like a brat. Give me. I want my money back, dude. Like, what are you doing? And then when he realized it, he said, "Okay, now that she can put that 20,000, because the mama wasn't playing. You want your money back? Here's your 20,000 back." And he put it back in there because he looked like a sucker if he kept the money. He would have been a sucker. You come on. You're pressing the mother for $20,000. It's just crazy. It's crazy. You're pressing them. Why are you pressing the family? But it's things that if you look at some of the things that came out in testimony, and Pam read the transcript. Shout out to Pam, pool member. Shout out to Pam. Pam, I see you, Pam. I see you. Let me put Pam up there. Yeah, Pam up there. Pam read the transcripts. I don't know what day you read them, but I know you read them. Yeah. And I'm sure that there are many people that can attest to his spoiled nature. He's a spoiled guy. The guy's, but I'm still trying to see where's the Rico at? Where is the Rico? We know the Freako. Where's the Rico? You got Punisher coming in today. The Punisher. The Punisher. This is a true story, ladies and gentlemen. I used to take pictures. I used to take pictures, do photo shoots for some of the. And listen, before you say it, I don't. You know what? I shouldn't tell you. Let me leave. Let me tell you something. I photograph men and women, but I like. That's what photographers do. They photograph men and women. But I had one. I guess I can tell a little story. One stripper he had all this different type of costumes. He was trying to do his promo stuff. So he came to my studio and said, "Hey, can you shoot this for me? I need to do my flies and everything." He had a big model. I mean, but he's a cool dude. His name was Flavor, Flava, Flavor. Uh, or I think Lawrence or Maurice Lawrence. But if you look him up, he was one of the top guys in New York back in the day. And Punisher apparently had that reputation back. I guess they might have been dancing around the same time. But hey, that ain't nothing. Hold on. It's nothing. Listen, I have all kind of people come to my studio. Listen, some things I didn't shoot. Like, hey, no, I can't. I don't do that. No, not the kid. Gene Deal. Let's talk about Gene Deal real quick. Gene Deal showed up yesterday at the court, and a lot of you probably saw him in the when he first arrived. And I asked him, was he testifying? And I'm sure others had asked him, was he testifying? Because you show up at the court, if you're not testifying, why are you there? Why are you there? But I know why he was there. I didn't see him today. But yeah, he'll probably be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big day, and it's going to be a big day for those who are covering the case, because I mean, this testimony is probably going to be the hottest. Because, and I'll tell you something, Kid Cudi his publicist sent out a package where he has some new music that's dropping. I received the package the day of the trial. So we published a story on Hip Hop Inquirer. Well, it was not a story, but the music we play it's good music. But it's interesting in the timing of him putting out his project. So yeah, he's going to testify. I ain't say it's a good media opportunity for him, but check out the album. I forgot the name now. It's on the website. Yeah. Listen, I wasn't going to say anything. I'm going to have to say it. So one of the content creators, I ain't gonna say what her name is. She has security. She has private security with her, and they have some serious background. One is former special forces, one is former law enforcement, but apparently she might be getting some type of threats and everything. But she's had the bodyguards there for the last couple of days. But I'm not going to put the person's name out there, but she definitely got some bodyguards in there. Oh my goodness. I'm not saying no names. Why you gonna say the girl name? Why you gonna do that? Why are you gonna do that? Why are you gonna do that? But for whatever reason, she might have been receiving threats. I don't know. Maybe did she talk about it? But someone say, why was she talking about if you say a name? I don't know. I did these names. It's gonna be Frank Flag. Cassie, okay. Well, typically, you shouldn't have to worry about someone bothering you for you doing your job. Now, there's some sickos out here. There's some, there's security. Let me tell you, she's not the only one that has security. But as a YouTuber, there's only one other person I know that has security, and that was Tasha K. But typically, you go out, you do your job, you don't have to worry about that type of situation, because it's kind of, if she feels that she's in her life is in jeopardy, she hired 2 security guards. I'm like, you got 2? Like, wait a minute, you got 2 security guards? What the heck going on? Who are you pissed off? Because it's not Diddy, but it may be some Diddy fans, or maybe, who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I hadn't really. And Tisha's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. She's going live. She's doing what she's doing. I think she might be going live at least 3 or 4 times a day, maybe even more. But she's definitely uh, she's doing what she does. I'll say that she's doing what she does. Oh wow, Jackie said she would. Oh, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Um, and what do you think about her coverage? I mean, I haven't really watched it, but I know that I I saw when Lil Rod got on a platform. I definitely watched that interview. Um, I don't know if Lil Rod's going to testify because he saw. I don't. He might even testify, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, she broke Adi. Did she break Adi or did they? Okay, I don't know. Did she break Adi? I saw the body cam footage, but see, I don't know how this is going to help Adi because he was saying that. See, Adi is an interesting character. Do you guys think Adi's going to testify? Because he has a lot of his cases haven't even been adjudicated. None of his cases have been adjudicated. He's still waiting to. I saw the interview his sister did. No, his ex-wife did, and she says cases are still pending. So, are they going to cut him a deal? But he didn't get arrested from Fed. I think he has a state case. So I don't know how that's going to work. Let's see here. That's gonna be interesting. That his testimony is gonna be interesting because the police didn't even take him serious when he was in the interrogation room. So I if he's testifying, that might be a problem too. That might be a problem too. Or it may not. Because if he was just a dancer, an escort, or not dancer, but escort, why is there a problem? I don't know. And someone made a good point. If you put someone like him, Adi on, knowing the stuff that he fired his gun at, I think Trump's hotel. Like this guy's in some serious trouble. He's in some serious trouble, but does that mean that he didn't interact with Cassie and Diddy? And how's that, what he did connected to, it has no connection to it, but I don't know, it's risky putting a guy like that on. I think they have enough people that can substantiate that they participate in free calls. He didn't do anything extra. Did he kill someone? Did he hear Puff say he's going to kill someone? I mean, it's just overkill. At some point, if they keep putting different witnesses on the same thing, then it's overkill. And I think this judge has a very good control of his courtroom, and maybe it just may not be necessary. They can stipulate, okay, yeah, so they had this guy was a escort, this guy was an escort, but is what they did illegal? They know Puff is a freak. Puff was. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I was surprised to learn that some of the stuff that Cassie testified. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just gonna be honest. Some of the things she was saying, like, huh? What? Mm-mm. That's just. That's kind of cruel. Anyway, that's what people get. People get. Listen. This, I guess, as I get older, I see some of the younger people just experimenting with all kind of stuff. They doing all kind of stuff. Things that no. We had fun now, but we wasn't doing that. No, it was never no Astro was it Astroglide? Because that came out today, a testimony that the Punishers basically said, yeah, we did our thing, and the Fed said that they found Astroglide in the home. They found shoes, woman's shoes, and other apparel in the closet. Okay, maybe somebody was staying at the house. It could have been, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say the name. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. It wasn't. I don't think it was Puff. You think Puff was went? Do you think Puff was a cross dresser? I'm just asking the question. Do you think Puff was a cross dressing? Do you think Puff was doing a little cross dressing? I don't know. Listen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Um, you don't know what the people are into. You don't know, and for me to find out. Yo, I'm thinking about something, man. Has Puff ever, it's taboo for black men to put dresses on in Hollywood. If you put a dress on, you're already marked. Is there any video of Puff putting dresses on? Like anything jokingly, anything anywhere? I know I never took no pictures with no dress on, but like I'm saying, listen, I don't know, man. I don't know what they got doing. Puff, what you got going on over there, Puff? Like, come on, player. Like, whoa. But Hollywood, listen, this is Hollywood life. This is what these guys do. They go to, they have that kind of money. They have parties. Hugh Hefner had parties at the Playboy Mansion. But we're not talking about Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner, and listen, let me say something. Hugh Hefner was bringing those young girls in there. They were women. They weren't women. They literally were 16, 17 years old going to the Playboy Mansion. Like, come on, let's be honest here. Puff is not charged with minors. Cassie was 19 when he started dating her, but she wasn't a minor. She was older. He was older than her, but she wasn't a minor. So there was a lot of stuff being said. If you go back and look at some people's videos, they were saying some crazy stuff. Even Justin Bieber said, "No, that never happened to me." You gotta listen to the guy, from his mouth. He said none of that stuff ever happened to me. So I don't know, man. You don't know. See, a lot of you can't have. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If you knew how people got down back in the day, the 90s, they would literally be in clubs doing things. You say, "Oh, they're doing this in the open." Wait a minute. It was. Let me tell you something. If your parents are gonna be honest with you, they're gonna tell you that if your parents went out and they were partying swingers, if they were swingers or whatever the case is, they're gonna tell you, "Hey, yeah, this is what Puffy's doing." Puffy was a little extreme, but they had these sex parties all over in Hollywood. They had sex parties in all. Listen, they had sex parties. It's just what it is. They had sex parties. Newsflash: there were sex parties in the industry. It went down. They had it. They had it in the 70s. They had it in the 60s. But it's different level, So I know my mom was a freak. Oh my goodness. Listen, and I think maybe you might have some jurors on there that will probably got their freak on. It was a term. Get your freak. Listen. How many of you heard the term "get your freak on"? How many heard it? I think it was even a song. Get your freak on. Get your freak. I don't know the song, but you guys heard even the song. It was a song. Get your freak on. So freak offs, get your freak on. Freak off, get your freak on. There were songs out there. Like, come on. That is that is the rock star life, ladies and gentlemen. I know you play, "Oh my goodness, I can't, my virgin ears can't take what he's saying." But it happened. This happened. This happened. I'm telling you, this is not something that, listen, if Puff was getting down like that, how many of you think his friends was getting down like that? You think Puffy was keeping the freak off to himself? No, he was having other people coming in, getting involved, allegedly. I don't think it was just isolated to Puffy. I know it wasn't isolated to Puffy. Listen. I know. I'm gonna say I can say that. I know it wasn't isolated to Puffy. If we want to be honest, I ain't telling nobody. That's not my job to tell on people. Listen, get right, Missy Elliott. That's right. Oh, damn, Missy, will you try to tell us something, Missy? Get your freak on. Get your... Yo, Missy, call the office, Missy. Call the office. Hey, listen. If you listen to some of these songs, they tell them themselves. They told you. Missy said it. Missy said it. Missy said. I wonder what Missy was thinking when she read that indictment. Shout out to Doug Wigdor because he wrote that indictment. Excuse me, correction. When you wrote the civil complaint, it read like an indictment. It was like, wait a minute, is this an indictment? It was highlighted in red. I said, wait a minute, this guy is really trying to send a message. You don't want to settle? Okay, we filing this document. We suing. When they saw that lawsuit, Puffy calls lawyers, man, this thing, wait a minute. How did this happen? You told me not to pay her. Don't pay her anything. They're not going to file. Well, they filed. And the document is out there. When people were reading that, I remember the night I was reading, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? It didn't help they settled the lawsuit so quickly. That didn't help because some people read that as, oh, he's guilty. Others read it that he was doing damage control because he had brands out there that would be taking a hit. It was, I read it as, and I know how companies and want to protect their brand. So, and he didn't pay for that settlement by himself. There were other entities that paid for the settlement. So I understood the bigger picture. I understood. What do we have for barbecue at the court today? Let's see here. I gotta drop this video, but it's gonna be dropped. I think I'm gonna drop it on the channel. I'll drop it for the members first, and you can see the video, and then we'll make it public for everybody else. But today was a pretty decent day. It was a pretty decent day. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty decent day. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you some guys and gals. It was a lot of emphasis on this freak off. I'm telling you, Puffy is not the only one that got his freak on. He is not. He is not the only one that got his freak on. And Cassie testified she knew that's how he got down. And someone said he was groomed. He groomed her. He might have groomed her. But she was 19. He groomed her at 19. Hugh Hefner was grooming underage young ladies. Let's be honest. And people say, what bring Hugh Hefner? Well, listen, it happened. The Playboy Mansion wasn't just a place where you go and put the bunny suit on. They had parties there. Wild parties. They had parties, bringing, and they flew them in from all over. They flew these young girls in from all over. That, ladies and gentlemen, is trafficking of minors. Don't get me started. I may say too much tonight. I get these text messages. Don't say that. They watching. They listening to you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But we're gonna watch how this trial plays out. I want to see where the the evidence aligns with the indictment, and if the prosecution is making their case. So we have to see. We have to really see, ladies and gentlemen. We have to see. Was it things that I heard that I didn't like? I'm sure things that a lot of people didn't like. Like, if we to believe he hit this, if he hit the Cassie's friend in the head with a hanger, because she was bringing Cassie drugs, and he wanted to get Cassie off of drugs. That could be explained. Wait, what the hell are you bringing my girl drugs for? I'm trying to get her clean, and you're trying to get her high. She has problems, and you bringing it. You come in here. You're supposed to be a friend, and you bringing her these drugs, and she's trying to clean herself up. Give me a hanger. No, I don't think it went down like that. But I would say that he definitely cared about Cassie, but the way he cared about her was weird. Can't even say he cared about her. I take that back. He didn't care about her. No, he didn't care about her. I'll take that back. Because you can't be pissing on your girlfriend unless you don't do. Yeah, I don't know. You piss. That's just weird. You're pissing on people. Like, get the heck out of here. He pissing on people for? What the heck's that all about? Oh my goodness, you guys, golden showers. Whoa. And that's the term. They call it golden showers. They call it the golden showers. That's not something I have to say. Black folks ain't into golden showers, I don't think. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but black folks ain't into no golden showers. I mean, I don't know. So I said, there's a difference between Hugh Hefner and Diddy. What is the difference? Tell me what the difference between Hugh Hefner and Diddy. Tell me what the difference is. Tell me what you see the difference is. The difference between Hugh Hefner and Diddy. No, we ain't doing. Yeah, boy, you spit on me and we're gonna fight. What is the difference? He's saying that come on, wasn't charged. Well, obviously he wasn't charged. The prosecutors have the ability to pick and choose who they want to charge. Clearly, he wasn't charged. Does that mean he didn't break the law? Come on. Come on. Race. That's people say, you don't play the race card. Well, I don't know. Here's the other thing. Right down the block, Harvey Weinstein's trial is going on. Why is all the media at Diddy's trial? Harvey Weinstein need equal smoke. He need equal coverage. We need to know what the heck. Do you guys know what the witness testified today in the Harvey Weinstein case? Do you know what the testimony is this week in the Harvey Weinstein case? No. You know why? Because everyone's covering Diddy. They're covering Diddy. Did he do it? Did he do it? Queen Brill, you're right. Having to operate in a different time. You're right. You're right about that. That is true. It was accepted back then. It was accepted back then. But not no more. Not no more. Not no more. Fuzzy said Weinstein was covered heavy. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk. Listen, yeah, we don't want to bring Elvis in it dating that. What? How was Priscilla Presley? 14 years old? Did he? 14 years old. I know that number stood out. 14 years old. What the hell is that man doing married, getting with a 14-year-old? What the heck? You're a predator. If she's 14 years old, what the hell are you doing with a 14-year-old? You're a freaking predator. Come on now. 14 years old. That's 15, 16, 17. Hold on, 17. Now I say 17 is legal in a lot of states. But I'm just saying, they're still young. Still young. Little Richard. Oh my goodness. We ain't gonna start throwing names out there. We ain't just throwing names out there. I mean, come on. Oh my goodness. But you guys get my point. You know, we got to hear the evidence because they trying to put Puff away for the rest of his life for this, for living a lifestyle that other celebrities live every day. I'm not saying names, but don't think it's confined to just Sean Diddy Combs. And freak offs is not a crime. It's not a crime. Anytime you flew a chick in from one state to another state to have intercourse for a fee, you're trafficking. You're trafficking. I guess. I don't know. I'm like, listen, hey. Listen, you guys better start walking around with waivers and releases, and you're doing, you better listen. It's getting bad out there. You better start covering your ass. Get a wife. Get a wife. Oh, Jackie, come on now. Don't say no. We're not gonna play those games, Jackie B. She had the ability to leave, but that. If you look at the text messages from after that awful evening at the Intercontinental, they were talking again. And again, she might have Stockholm syndrome, but they were communicating. And Puff he might have been high when he was doing it because he acted like nothing even happened the next day. Like, dude, you just kicked the woman's ass on camera. And now you want to be lovey-dovey? That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's also domestic violence. That is not a federal crime. And you guys got to realize he's charged with federal crimes. She was his girlfriend. They worked for him by way of being his artist, but she was his girlfriend, long-term girlfriend. Different. Right. That's true. Yo, Banks, you're right. I agree with you. But we're talking federal case. I was outside today doing arrivals, and this woman was waiting for her husband. She was telling me I thought she was there to try to come watch the trial. So she said, "No, my husband's here." I said, "Does he work here?" She said, "No, he got arrested yesterday." And she told me, I said, "What did he get arrested for?" And she told me, I said, "Oh, he'll probably be out soon. He'll be out probably, maybe a day or two." He was doing that counterfeit stuff. He was selling counterfeit. He had a whole store set up selling counterfeit goods. He literally had a store set up selling people's. Hold a second here. Hold on. I don't know why people. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Let me make sure you guys are here. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't turn my do not disturb. Hold on. Stand by. Yeah, he's out there selling counterfeit goods, and he has a store set up. Like, you big dodo bird. So they just rolled up in his store. She said he arrested him, and he was doing it for 5 years. So I said, they probably give him a $50,000 bond. I said, and then she said, "Yeah, you're right. They gave him a $50,000 bond. Probably ankle monitor, but he'll likely probably get, if he pled out, he'll probably get a couple of years, maybe 2 years. But I'm sure he has to do restitution. I'm sure he has to do a lot of restitution because, again, that counterfeit is a federal crime. Denat, what's up? Denat was in the building. Let me shout. Oh, I forgot. Denat was in the building. Or can I say Bernard? Denat or Bernard? Which one is it? See, you play with. See, Denat. You've been nice. You've been nice this week, man. You've been nice. You were doing your. This is your first federal case you covered. This is your first federal case you covered. Hope it was all that you expected it to be. Before you came in here, I was saying that it takes a lot of tenacity to be able to go and sit in the courtroom every day for the next. I mean, this is this is going to be a long trial for anyone that obviously put their life on hold for this trial. It requires a lot, and you got to make it make sense. It requires a lot. You learn a lot from it. You learn how the judge reacts in federal court versus the state court. Judges are a lot more lax. In federal court, the more respected they have. The order. You notice that they have better order in the court. The lawyers are. I mean, it's not like you see in the YSL case. The YSL was a whole lot of. Oh, it was just too much. Like Adrian Love would have major problems in this judge's courtroom. Major problems. But to be able to sit in the courtroom without your devices, because a lot of you young guys, you're used to having devices. You like to have your phones, you like to have your laptops. But in this particular court, someone else is in here that told me earlier today, well, I can bring my laptop in the car. I said, no, you can't. No, she says you can bring a phone in, but you can't bring a laptop in there. But you can't bring your laptops. You can bring you can bring it. If you're an attorney, you can bring your phones, but the regular people, you can't bring anything. So you got to take a lot of notes. And a lot of people not used to writing notes. I would argue that many of you can't even do penmanship. You can't write in a script, because script is easy flow, you probably can read my script. But I would just say that stick with it, find your niche, tell the story from your lens, and give people a perspective, and give them your take on what you heard, because everyone you can have 10 people looking at the same thing and come out with a different outcome of what they see. And that's why, I say transcripts help a lot, because you have it in black and white, but people interpret. And I've watched a lot of the reporting on this case, and two people in the same room sees the case differently. I know it's frustrating for some people. Oh, no, she said this, or he said this, but in the end, it's what those jurors are going to decide. And the jurors are going to be a reflection of a lot of people that come to the courtroom. They're going to be a reflection of that, from different communities, different walks of life, and they're going to see it. That's why you got to, picking the jury is probably the most crucial piece of work that comes out that courtroom. You got to pick a jury. You got to make sure that jury is not trying to get on there to do damage to the case, but you got to make sure that juror understands that this is probably the most responsible thing they have to do, civic duty, but they have to make decisions. Someone's guilty. Someone like a Mr. Combs, who has done, and I have to say this because a lot of you don't like to talk about this, he's done a lot for the community. And you'll say, what has he done for the community? He's set up a school in Harlem. He's did campaigns, Vote and Die. There were teachers who had issue back in New York. The New York City school teachers had an issue back in 2000 And he came out along with Russell Simmons and other people to bring awareness to the New York City school system and education. So he's done a lot of positive. Some people say it doesn't really matter no more. He's a freak. Doesn't matter. No. You would be surprised to know what some people do when the lights are. Come on. So he's done, and no one's talking about that, but he's done a lot of positive stuff. You don't see a lot of celebrities that some of your favorites they don't do anything for the community. They do nothing. And I'm not making light of what the charges are, but I'm just saying you have to understand the man, the person from both sides. You know, like Cassie's telling the story, but I'm sure when Puff is time to put on this case, there's going to be people come in to tell their story. You just don't see them right now. Because Puff's been around a lot of different people. We'll see. As long as I don't get rid of the bots. Well, I got moderators in there. Bots? What bots? I don't care about no damn bots. I don't care about no bots. Who's D? D? That's D. That's your job, D. What you doing, D? You letting the bots into my comment section? D, what you doing? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm gonna put some of the video out. I gotta make sure it's watermarked, but I'm gonna put some video out in the membership section. You guys will see it. Make sure you're in the membership section. I'll release it before midnight, but definitely go over there. Go over there. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I know you got it. I know you got it. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it. Hold on, guys. Stand by. Stand by. But this case is so important for so many reasons. There's so many reasons why this case is so important. So many reasons. Damian Williams, the former United States U.S. attorney, indicted Puff, Sean Combs. I call him Puff. That's what we called back in the day, Puff. But he knew a lot of his team members are not around anymore. Interesting why they're not around anymore. Well, we know a new administration, but it's interesting. Helps HBCU. Yeah. Yeah. He was doing all the parties at the HBCU Howard. He was doing all the parties at Howard. Oh my goodness. Man, listen, I know personally, but no one wants to hear that. They don't want to hear the good stuff. We don't care about the good stuff. We want to know. They don't care about the good stuff. They don't care. They don't care about the good stuff he did. They don't want to know about that. No. That's not no. So he sent kids to school and paid for education. His kids, by the way, his kids graduated. His two daughters graduated. They just had their prom. And that's why you guys haven't seen footage of the kids last couple of days, because they graduated. The mother's out. Their grandmother, Miss Janice Combs, is out in LA as well, and they may show back up tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But if it rains, ladies and gentlemen, which is expected to rain tomorrow, you're going to see less of me outside until it's necessary. Because we get up early. Make sure you get there early now. Okay. Oh my goodness. No, I didn't hear about that. Well, I didn't get an email. If something dropped, I would have got an email. I think. No, no, it's not the case. I don't know. Probably I don't know. I didn't hear about that. But I'll look into it. I'm just a little curious. I'm not in Georgia, so I can't really do anything about that. But that's interesting. I did see someone say he's facing capital charge. He killed somebody. We got to see. I don't know what Nesto doing. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. We say you got other priority. Switch to a long term and we cut after lunch. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, listen. And I'm gonna tell you something. I almost didn't make it today. Did not. Almost didn't make it today. Uh, I talked to Nika like at 4 in the morning. I said, Nika, I got things to do. I can't make it today. Then I called back and said, listen, I'll be there. I'll be there on time. It's see the thing is when you're covering the trial gavel to gavel, and you don't want to miss Kid Cudi now. You know, Kid Cudi come in, you're going to be like, come on, that's you want to get that. Uh, but when you're covering the trial, you got to stay there from start to finish. You know, it's times that I didn't even take lunch. I said, oh my, I can't. If I leave, but I took care of that. I brought me. Listen, I just hit the supermarket up in the neighborhood I'm staying in. Man, I brought me smoothies. I done brought. Oh man, man, shit. I'm gonna have. Listen, I have oranges. I'm gonna have food in my bag. Don't worry, we're gonna be good. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, I'm gonna look into that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Well, I don't have time to look at that tonight. Um, I'll try to glance over someone. I'll call someone and find out what happened with that. The fat. Oh, fat awareness. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What you said tonight? Let's see here. Let me see what you said here. The Fed rate is first tomorrow, and that's going to be a long day. Okay. And probably we all know. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 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 Well, when they see this may not the fact that they're bringing in these type of witnesses now, I don't know how they're trying to weave this because usually you start out with your law enforcement and then you go into your your witnesses and end up with your star witness. I don't know the way they're weaving this. I had to see this, but you're right. The stuff that they're going to be talking about, we already know. We read it in the indictment, but I don't think it's going to be half the day. I don't think so. I think maybe 2 hours, maybe that not even that long. Pam is in the pool. Pam is in our pool. Oh, you talking about for Nestor? Okay, I checked that out. Oh yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta listen. I gotta get ready. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta be up early. Early. I appreciate you coming in. I really do. I'll probably be in the court most of tomorrow because it's going to rain, so I won't be inside taking notes. Uh, and perhaps one of the pool members will read the transcripts. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. I really do. Also, as you talk about the transcripts, the pool is still open. The pool is still open. I think I have 5 slots available. It's still open. With that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit me up if you're interested in being in the pool, and we'll tell you what you need to do. With that, I'm out.